Professor, you're muted. You're still muted, Professor. I can't hear you. I can't hear you still. You're still muted. I can't hear anything at all. I can't hear.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, perfect. So, okay. So in this chapter, we want to talk about these objectives, define groups and teams, and identify and describe several types of each group and teams, and identify the 5 core group performance factors and relate them to groups and teams in organization. And third objective is about discuss the stages of group and team development, other team performance factors, and the implementation process in the context of creating new teams. And 4, identify the primary benefits and costs of teams, how managers can promote effective team performance, and important team competencies. And 5, describe emerging team opportunities and challenges related to virtual team and diversity and multicultural team. First, group defined. What is a group? The nature of groups and teams. It is very important to know about the scientific and major parts of elements of detailed elements of the definitions of groups, department, teams, organization, communities, societies, and other formal gathering of human beings for a shared meaning or for a shared goal. For example, family is the basic group. And after that, we have communities, societies. In organization, we have group, teams, and department, and other parts. But technically and professionally, these are different concepts. If they were not different concepts, we didn't use any different words. When we use different words, it means that basically we have some different concepts about each of the words. The first is about the definition of group. 2 or more people who interact with another such that each person influences and is influenced by each other person. So we have an interactive part about the groups. And team define an interdependent group of at least 2 people who share a common goal and accountability for outcomes. So the basic difference between groups and teams is about the interaction and the process of interaction and the course of interaction and what type of interaction we have. In a group, we have interaction between the members. You are influenced or you are influencer. But in team, in addition to be influenced and in addition to be influencer, we have a shared goal and shared meaning. So we have the shared goals and shared meanings in teams, and sometimes in group, we have only interactions. So teams are a little more goal-directed than groups. They have some meanings and some goals they want to achieve together, working together for a shared meaning or a shared goal or other things. So teams are more goal-directed. Teams are more future-oriented in contrast with the groups. And categorization of groups. Welcome, Jay. Categorization of groups by degrees of formalization. How formalized a group can be used as a categorization criteria for levelized and for categorizing the groups. At first, formal groups, and second part is informal groups. What are formal groups? Established by organizations, and what are informal groups? Self-created by members. For example, give me a sample of an informal group just now. Can you find informal groups in your society, in your community, in your school, in your university, in your workplace? What are, say me about the informal groups in your, around yourself? Any informal group except of your organization? Self-created by members. For example, if you have a recreational group for your weekend, it is informal group. Why? It didn't created by an organization. It is informal, only created by yourself or by the members. It is self-created by the members. You and some of your friends gathering together in the weekends and go, for example, some types of recreational activities, for example, going to dancing or going to parties and other parts. But you are a group, 5 or 6 persons, that each weekend you go, for example, for parties. It is informal group. Is there any share meaning or share goal? Yes, this share, going to party, dancing, and have a good time. But it is not organizational, it is not formal. So by the degree of formalization and by the degree of organization involved in shaping a group, we can create groups in two parts, formal groups and informal groups. But work groups, a formal group established by the organization to do its work. So we have work group at the first formal group created by the organizations, a formal group established by the organization to do its work. It's a formal group. And types of formal group, command group, and affinity group. And you see here, sorry, you see here command group, relatively permanent group with functional reporting relationships, usually included in organizational chart. Sometimes a command group are called task group. For a specific task, you have shaped an organization, you have shaped a group, or your organization has shaped a group, and you as a group member has some specific task to do in relation in relatedness to other people, other group members. And finally, you and other members as a group should have a report about the goal, the basic goal that the group has been shaped because of that. So it is a command group. We have a command, we have an order, we have a specific direction, a specific goal in the group. But the other parts of work groups are affinity group, a relatively permanent collection of employees in the same hierarchical level who meet regularly to share information and solve problems. At first, we have functional reporting relationship in command group. We have only solution solving problems report in affinity group. And more important than everything, in affinity group, the group members, the employees are at the same level, at the single level of the organization. But in command group, we can have some people, some members from other levels of organization. For example, from simple workers, from higher orders of employees, and from mid-level managers. We can have some different types and some different members of different levels of organization in a command group. But in affinity group, it is a permanent gathering of employees to solve the problem and to talk about the problem definitions. Functional team, something like command group. Members come from the same department or functional area. It is functional team. For example, from the Department of Faculties, from the Department of leadership team, or from the Department of Social Workers team, from the Department of, for example, General Nurses team. The team is from the same department. And cross-functional team, when you say functional team, from the same level of functions, from the same level of skillfulness, people come together to discuss about the problems. It is something like affinity group, and define their problems and find some solution for their problems. But in cross-functional team, we have members from different functional levels. Members come from different departments or functional areas, can increase creativity because of different aspects, and can solve problems more quickly. How do you think about the conflicts sometimes occur in cross-functional team? What are the major conflicts can you find in cross-functional team? People are from different departments, not from the same level of functional level. They are from different parts and different levels. What are the major conflicts in these groups as cross-functional team? Joy, Erica. Do you know what is think tank? What is think tank? Have you heard about the think tank? Have you heard about the brainstorming? What is brainstorming? What is a brainstorm group?
Like when people get together and they just start thinking about like ideas of the same like topic or something.
Mm-hmm.
Just a bunch of ideas.
What is the major elements in a think tank or a brainstorming group? Why cross-functional team can increase creativity? What is the relationship between creativity and cross-functional team? Why?
Because you can get ideas from other people and add them to yours.
So what is the difference between functional team and cross-functional team in the aspect of increasing creativity? Why they say cross-functional team is increasing creativity in relatedness, for example, compared to functional team? What is the major nature of cross-functional team that ends to increasing creativity? The major difference.
I think because functional is just they all come from one area, while cross-functional come from different areas, so they all have different ways of thinking or different ideas because they're in different areas.
Just the major part is because cross-functional, not focusing on a single specific functions. We can see from these different aspects, from different perspectives, from different ideas to only one problem. Or sometimes it is not about the solving the problems. It is about creating the new ideas, idealization about the future or new products or new services. But what are the major conflicts we can find in cross-functional? When people are from the same, for example, social level, it is something like marriage. When you marry with someone from your social level, you know what maybe what he or her or his demanding, his request from life is. But when you marry with another one from other social level, downer than you or higher than you, but different social level, sometimes we cannot understand what he or she is talking about. Sometimes it's cheaper than your life expectations, and sometimes it is higher than your life expectation, but doesn't make sense for you that what is he or she talking about. It's something like that. But in that part, you will have some better ways to grow. Why? Because you can find some different aspect of life when you live with a person from different levels. Sometimes social level, also it is not about the um, about the differentiation between different people. It is about the social level. It is about the lifestyle. Sometimes when you understand other people's lifestyles, as for example, a husband, wife, close friend, or sometimes some relationships that it is not included in friendship, or for example, your employees, but you can find different aspects of your life because you can see different aspects of their life, not your life, from other people's lives. Because of that, it is something like cross-functional team. In cross-functional team, we have different aspects, different ideas, different solutions for one single problem or for creating a shared goal for the future. But it is holistic approach. It is multidimensional approach. Because of that, and because of conflictual state is very good here because in each conflict we have at least two parts that they cannot be with each other at the same time and same place. It is conflictual and create the new time, the new space, the new place for the creation. Because of that, cross-functional team increase creativity. But the best part is that you can solve problems more quickly. I cannot understand how is it possible. You are some conflictual problems, conflictual situations in a cross-functional team, and you have some types of diversity, some types of different ideas for a single problem. But why we can solve the problems more quickly? How do you think? Why so quickly? Welcome, Robert. Why so quickly? It is conflictual. It is so hard problems. One of the reasons that in cross-functional team you can solve the problems more quickly is about that at first. It is not about counseling. It is not about consultation. It is about brainstorming. It is about a think tank. Think tank is the room, is a place that you share everything it is in your mind about one problem. In this process, it is called brainstorming. Because of brainstorming, you can find the new ways to solve the problem. Because of the new ways, it is increasing the creativity and increase the speed of the problem solving. But at the basic parts, if you cannot find the new ideas and you are talking to people from other levels of organization, it is not a good position. It is not cross-functional team. Why? Because basically it is not a functional team. There is no function. When everybody says only the things in his or her mind and everybody hear and listen everything only in his or her mind, there is no contribution. There is no collaboration with each other. But in think tank, in brainstorming, in cross-functional team, we have one single problem to solve. We have one single idea to create, and everybody look at it with the multiple speed, in contrast with, for example, speed of one person to solve a problem. And the third part is problem-solving team, functional team, about one function, cross-functional team, different people from different dimensions of a function, and problem-solving team established to solve a problem and improve work. For example, the problem-solving teams that we have now for the last year about the COVID-19. Self-directed team sets and pursues own goals, only the team's goals. Team members responsible for managerial tasks such as scheduling and evaluation, and can improve commitment, quality, and efficiency. It is self-directed team. There is no need to have an external manager for the team. For example, if you are a member of a studying group and you want to study, for example, ORG 4451 with each other, you have so commitment at the single time, a specific time in the week to share and contribute the group the team and have some reading, for example, some pages and discussing about it, it is a self-directed team. Also, it is a task team. But when it is called task team, is called self-directed team when there is no other manager, no external manager. The team members work together to harmonize and to coordinate the team activity for achieving not a basic shared goal. Sometimes it is a goal for each of them. For example, when you are in a study group, it doesn't mean that you want to do a project. It is not the self-directed, it is a project task group. But you want to study for yourself, but helping each other for better understanding of the course. And finally, each of you has his or her own grade, his or her point, not shared to others, but everybody has received some help from other people to better understanding, to discussion, and finally, the function of each of team members will be good at the ending point. A venture team operates semi-autonomously to create and develop new products, processes, or businesses. Separating team from the firm's formal structure can enhance innovation and speed up cycle time. It is a venture team. Virtual team, welcome to virtual team. Just now, you are in a virtual team as a virtual class. Members are geographically dispersed, and global team has members from different countries, can be virtual or meet face-to-face. What are the most famous global team in the world? Can you consider United Nations as a global team? United Nations organization? Is it a global team or not? Is it a team?
I think so.
Why? What are the shared goals of the United Nations organization? When you're talking about team, you are talking about the shared goals and shared meanings.
I don't know what they do, but I know that they get together and discuss things. But that's as far as my knowledge goes.
Robert, how do you think? Is United Nations organization a global team? You are muted. Robert, can you hear me? You are muted. Robert, can you hear me? I think you have some problems in hearing your voice. Erica, how do you think? Do you think United Nations organization is a global team?
Yes, I do.
Why? Only because of different countries?
Yeah, they have different people from different countries and they can meet virtually, especially right now, or face-to-face, I guess.
I think you should level up your volume of speaker. Okay, great. Because of different countries are engaged in some organization like United Nations organization, we can call it, yes, it is a global team. And friendship group, relatively permanent from high school, sometimes from middle school, and generally the friendship group is from the end of the high school and university and college years. Draws benefits from social relationship among its members. Long-term friendship group, not short-term. long-term friendship group can create a very, very strong relationship after growing in society as the good members. Okay. An interest group organized around a common activity or interest, we talk about it, and relatively temporarily after the ending the class, okay, the interest group about, for example, gaining the best score, the best grade in the class will be ended. Group performance factors. What are the factors that affect group performance? Composition of the group, size of the group, informal leadership of the group, norms of the group, and cohesiveness. These are the different parts and different factors that can influence the group functions. Group composition, the degree of similarity or difference among group members on factors important to the group's work. Group composition, it is not about the different people or different culture or different races. It is about the different aspects on the group works. Every group, we said, every group has some types of, let me check the chat of the good now. Okay. Can you hear me, Robert, now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, welcome to our class. Finally, you are here. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. The degree of similarity or differences among group members on factors important to the group works. It is not about important of each factor, all factors. It is about only about the factors which are important, which are significant to group share goals, to group share meaning, to group final destination the group wants to achieve. In these aspects of final goal, of final meaning, of the final point, the group has been shaped because of achieving that point. In this course, in this path from now to the desired point, we have some important factors that can increase or decrease the functionality of the group. How different or how similar the group members are, it is the group composition. For example, if you want to work to each other, for example, for a soccer group, sports group, the differences and the similarities is about your body shaping, your skill of, for example, soccer and other parts. But it is not about your geographical information. Why? Because the function of this group is not about traveling. It is about success and achievement in soccer matches, in football matches or soccer matches. So consider that. Sometimes people are so confused about it. They consider some factors that sometimes are important, but not related to that specific goal of the group that they are going to do that group just now. It is about, for example, a football match, and they are thinking about the mathematical skills of the players. It is not important. Second part, more similarities. At first, you should know, maybe you know, that we have two prefixes before the words homo and hetero. Homo, from every word after homo, it means different. It means same. And hetero is meant different. For example, we say heterosexuality and homosexuality, same sex and different sex. Now you can find it homogeneous and heterogeneous. Homogeneous is the same type. Homogeneous is meant that more people, more group members are from the similar types. It is homogeneous. And when you talk about heterogeneous is group that we have a high rate of differentiation and differences between the group members. They are not at the same page for the share goal or share meaning of the group. Well, they are very different. It is not so good because we cannot unify them for achieving the goal we are going to achieve it. This is not a good group. But sometimes we have heterogeneous group from other parts, other people, from different aspects, that those aspects are not related to the group goal. Yes, but an additional difference is sometimes say how creative this class can be, how creative this group can be. Because of that, we have two types, homogeneity and heterogeneity, or homogeneous and heterogeneous, degree to which members are similar in one or several ways that are critical to the group's work, or degree to which members differ in one or more ways that are critical to group works. What is the more important thing here? It is about the critical to the group's work. Again, homogeneous groups are more productive when the task is simple, is sequential, requires cooperation, or requires quick action. More homogeneity, more wasting of time, more wasting of energy. Less wasting of time, less wasting of energy, less wasting of money. But it is a very simple task. We need concentration, work together. There is no complexity here, no confusion about the task. It is a very simple task. So we are so similar together. We are homogeneous group. So we can achieve the goals, achieve the works group, achieve the works final destiny so rapid. But when it is a confused task about the future of the group, when we don't know so directly that what is the problem with the group, we need some different aspects, some different looking. We need some types of creativity in the group. In that part, we need heterogeneous groups. Heterogeneous groups are more productive. When task is complex, we need different aspects. We need different ideas. Why? Because the task is not so simple. It is a little complex. For example, entrepreneurship is a complicated task. There is no predetermined aspect of the job you want to do. Why? Because it is entrepreneur. If you are some people that were before you, it is not entrepreneur. It is not a new idea. It is not innovation. So because everything is new, you should know about the different aspects of that work. It is called complexity. Task is complex, requires collective effort, work together. Sometimes it is called accumulative effort. It is synergic, not energic. Demands creativity, new ways, new days, new time, new idea, and emphasizes thoroughness over speed. It is very important. So it is not about a good group or bad group. It is about the matched group or mismatched group. If it is very simple, the group work, the group task is very simple. We need rapid. We don't need any new idea, only work together, all for one for all. It is good. We need homogeneous group. But it is a complex task. We need some new idea. We need some degree of creativity in the group. We need, in that part, we need heterogeneous. But the group size. One question. In the aspect of size, what are the differences between group, team, and community and society? Is there any difference in the aspect of size? Is there any size differences between group size, team size, community size, and society size? In what size can you call a gathering of people? Yes, in that size, it is called group. In that size, it is called team. In that size, it is called community. In that size, it is called society. How do you think? How many people can you call them a group? 2, 3, 4, 10. Is there any difference between group and members, a group and teams in the aspect of size, or no? It is not related to size. It is related, for example, to goals. In this part of goals, we can call them group. In that part of goals, we can call them team. Gerald, can you turn your video on? Okay, Joey, Erica, Robert.
I don't think there's really a difference between a group and a team.
In the aspect of size.
Yeah.
Size is not important to creating a group or team.
No, I don't think size is important to create. Well, I think size is important to create a team, right? But when it comes to a group, I don't think size matters.
Let me say an example. We don't call it basketball group. We call it basketball team. We don't call it basketball group. We call it basketball team. But we say audience group. Team of players, but group of audience. Is there any difference in the aspect of size or not? Why we call them audience group, not audience team? But we call them basketball team or football team, not football group. What is the difference? Is there anything related to size or not? It is about the function and the goals.
I don't think it has to do with the size for group and team. I think it has to do with the goal and their purpose, I guess.
Do you remember the basic definition of group and team? Group was about influencing and being influenced. Group. It's about interaction, but not with a specific goals, share goals. There's no share. When you say about share goals or shared meaning, you are talking about team, not groups. In groups, only group members are influencing other people or being influenced by other people. That's it. For example, you go somewhere that people are singing their songs, for example, a match. Are they working together for one song? No, everybody sings his or her song. But interact, yes. They are influencing other people, ranking in the match and other parts. But when the three people come together for singing one song, it is not group, it is called team. It's musical team, but singers team. Why? But because they want to sing one single song. Share meaning or share goal. So honestly, it is not related to the size. Just the same is used for differences between community and society. In society, we have share meaning. Society is the largest scales of team. Community is largest scale of groups. People together being influenced or are influencing, yes. But no share meaning, no specific huge and final share meaning in groups and in communities. But in teams and societies, yes. When it is called society, when you have specific borders, a specific determined political system, geographical territory, and other parts. The number of members in the group affects resources available to perform the task, affect degrees of formalization of interaction, communication, and participation, and increase the degree of social loafing. Factors that determine ideal group size. Group members' ability to interact and influence each other. It is very important. We talk about the interaction. One people with other people with one people. It is about interaction, okay? Now, if the number of group members are higher than a range, what is the range? The range is the effectiveness of interaction. Lower than a number of group members or higher than a number of group members, the effectiveness of interaction will decrease. For example, in a family, at first you are not family, at first you are a couple. A wife and a husband, they are not family, they are couples. After parenting, adding the children to the home, after the children to couple, they are called family. So in family members, we have mother, father, siblings. And after that, we have some other people as the, for example, nephews and the grandpa and the grandma, other people. They are expanded family. But in core family, we have father, mother, and siblings and children on one child or more than one child. It is something that if, for example, very, very crowded family, the type of interaction at one side, it is very good, very intimate, people work together, sense of brotherhood and other things. But about the dividing the resources, it's very hard because single resources, for example, income of father and many people, it is crowded family. Because of that, we have some types of group members for each type of group. If lower than number of group members, group functionality is not good. It is lower than the optimum functions, not maximum functions, not minimum functions. We need optimum functions. Optimum functioning is means the functioning that can go on for a long time with a good quality. It is optimum function. It is stable situation in a group. One of the great factors that affect these types of functioning is about the size of the group and maturity of the group. How functions group members want to do is in a high level of functioning. And group task, one of the great things that affect the size of the group is what the task group wants to do. What are the type of interaction they want to do, they want to have on each other. It is group task. And the ability of the group leader to deal with communication, conflict, and task activity. This is very important. Personality and characteristic of a group leader is very important factor to determine the size of the group members, the size of the number of group members. Why? Some people, for example, can handle, can manage, can lead only 3 or 5 people. They can be a very good father in a family, but they cannot be a good, for example, leader in one department of an organization. Why? Because that the department has, for example, 20 people, 20 employees. The level, the volume, the amount of their mind, the amount of their skills is enough for handling and managing only, for example, 5 people. His or she or he, and husband, wife, and children. It is very important that every group, every team, every community, every society, and especially every organization needs a leader, needs a mentor, needs a manager, at least a manager. The minimum level is manager, not the maximum. The maximum level is about leadership and mentorship. That after these courses, I think in master degree, you will learn some parts of leadership and negotiation. Also in bachelor degree, you have the course of leadership. You will find or you will learn that, yes, there are some specific differences between managers, leaders, chefs, mentors, coaches, and other leadership team. So the capability of the leaders is very important to determine the group size. None of leaders are good for a lot of teams. They are good leaders for example, group size, small group size. And sometimes leaders are very charismatic, are very, very, for example, open-minded, very high qualified knowledge. They are not good for small groups. They are wasting their time at first and so boring. They should organize, for example, a society, a community, a great organization. So it is not about it is not about the good leaders or bad leaders. It is about matched leaders or mismatched leaders. It is something like hiring process. We are looking for job matching people, and it is called job matching interview. We are not looking for example, very high qualified. You go, for example, for hiring, and they say, sorry, you are very good, better than we want. You are overqualified. It doesn't mean that you are not good. It means that you are not matched with the needs of our society, with the needs of our community, with the needs of our organization. Group norms and the standards against which the appropriateness of the behaviors of members of judge. Norms is not about the healthy. Norms is not about the fair. Norms are not about the, for example, even common sense. Norms are something that are very regular, very frequent in a society. These are norms. For example, COVID-19, now COVID-19 is normal, but not healthy. Getting cold in winter is normal, but not healthy. Norms are about what is very regular in a population. If very regular, okay, it is normal, but it doesn't mean that it is true. It is efficient. It is healthy. A lot of false things, a lot of inefficient things, inefficient issues, a lot of unhealthy issues are very norm. For example, fast food is very norm in America, but it's not healthy. Please note that it is very, very, very detailed importance, detailed significance that you should have in your mind. A lot of things, many things are norms, but not healthy, not true, not effective, especially not effective. If you cannot remember it, think about the fast food eating. Fast food eating is very, very norm. But every simple, very low level nutrition scientist or nutrition workers say to you, sorry, fast food is not healthy, but it is norm. So norms are very important. Why? Because norms are a major part of the culture, behavioral culture, eating culture, organizational culture, political culture. Every aspect of human life has its own specific culture. Look at yourself. You have dressing culture, behavioral culture, for example, studying culture, working culture, lifestyle culture. Lifestyle culture is the culture that determines the elements of your lifestyle. For example, do you exercise every day or not? Do you pray every day or not? Do you have, for example, healthy food every day or not? Do you sleep good or bad every day? It is your everyday life. It is your lifestyle. The major things that determine the elements of your lifestyle is your lifestyle culture. So group norms are the things that groups will be judged based on those factors. Those are group norms. Determine behavior expected in a certain situation. What are our expectations from you in a specific situation? For example, if you are son of your father has some expectation, for example, in his illness. He expected you to help him to, for example, going to a hospital and some medical, for example, treatment for your father. It is his father-in-law expectation. Specific situation, illness. Father-in-law expectation, help me. These are the norms. And copy it and paste it in your, for example, organization. If you are a simple worker, some types of expectation we want you to in your position as a simple worker, and other parts some expectation, for example, managerial position, or if you are in a board, we have some specific expectation from you in that specific part or in that specific situation. And result from personality characteristic of members. We have sometimes of, I said to you, job matching interview. Job matching interview, it is about the characteristic of the people who want to work with us. The situation, each situation is different from other situations. Each situation has its specific needs and norms and the historical tradition of the group. What are our habits? What are our traditional habits in our group? Are enforced only actions that are important to group members. Don't forget that these are about the things, about the issues which are important to groups. If something is not so important for a group, it doesn't include any type of cooperation with the norms, using the norms in our company. We cannot use those things as the norms because these are not important. One of the factors that determine the norms is the significance of that items in our corporation, in our, for example, job, for example, family, our society. Norms should be important for us. If some items are not so important for us, we cannot consider them as norms. Purposes of norms. Help the group survive at first. For example, having a good food, daily good food, is a norm for survival. Yes. Why? Because help us survive. If you cannot eat something good, you cannot survive. It is something like that. Very simple and very crucial, very vital. Simplify and increase predictability of expected behaviors of group members. Help the group to avoid embarrassing situations and express the group's central values of membership identification and identify the group to others. For example, during last year, we had 3 crises in America: COVID, presidential process, and Black Lives Matters. Each of them has its own specific norms, has its specific signs that other people can find. Yes, this protest is not about the presidential, for example, process. It's about the importance of Black lives. It is something different. This, for example, protest is about the medical services that we are receiving during the COVID-19. It is not about the, for example, accident and Black Lives Matters. You can find some critical features in every type of critical events. Attacking to the, for example, Senate building, no, going to the street, then say our lives as Blacks are important, or going to the street and say why you cannot give us the good service about vaccination against, for example, COVID-19. Each of them, they are all protests, yes, but each of them has its main core features. Those main core features are sometimes of norms. Because of that, it says one of the most important purposes of norms is express the group's central values. What are the central values of the movement of Black Lives Matter? Equality. It is the central value. We want equality for LGBTs, for Black people, for female and other parts that they think it is not equal for them. There is not equal situation for them in the society, for example. It is the central value of that part. What is the central value of vaccination against COVID? Accessing a daily life, routine daily life, and healthy routine daily life. It is the central value. What is the, for example, protest against your former Donald Trump? It is the central value is justice, or no, it is, for example, a combination between the justice and injustice in different aspects of American political life. You should find, it is very important, very, very in your organization. You will be, as soon as possible, you will be the next generation of leaders, not next leaders. Why we call it next generation? Because the atmosphere of everything has been changed during the COVID. And you, as the future next generation of leaders, will be something completely different, for example, leaders of 2 years ago. So you should know the basic of your organization, the basic of organizational behavior, the basics of your leadership, very, very good. And after that, mixing with your personality characteristic and creating a new style, a new type of your own leadership or managerial style. One of them is finding and defining your own central values as your norms, as your leadership norms. And in the course of leadership, we will teach you that what are the different types of leadership. Group cohesiveness, the extent to which a group is committed to staying together, results from forces acting on the members, attracting to the group, attraction resistant to leaving the group, and motivation to remain a member of group. It is very important. Many people doesn't have any attention, doesn't have any concentration of staying at a group. They shift from one group to another group, from one group to another group. They are confused about their roles they want to play in their society, in their family, in their, for example, school, in their friendship groups. They don't know anything about the specific role they want to play. It is very important for your life. Many people have goals. So it's a basic question. If many people have goals, why many people never achieve their goals? It is not about the having or not having their goals. It is about having careful, very specific goals or not having specific goals. It is about having specific or having not specific. When you are confused about your goals, it is not goals, it is your dream. Sometimes it is not dreams, more clear than dreams. It is your wish, your desire. Sometimes it is very specific. The last thing I want to say you about the course in this session before going to break is, do you know what is the SMART goal? The elements of a SMART goal? Joy, I think we have talked about it before. Do you remember? What is a SMART goal? The elements of a SMART, S-M-A-R-T. The abbreviation is called the SMART goal. Also, you can find it in internet.
Let me look for it. I kind of forgot. SMART goal?
Yeah.
Okay, let me.
Uh-huh.
Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based?
Yeah.
Got it.
Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. These 5 features of goals should be considered when you want to have a SMART goal: specific goal, measurable goal, achievable goal, realistic goal, and timely goal. It's a different discussion. It's not related to your to this session, but many people at first doesn't have any specific goal. Short-term, specific, clear, with a good and operational, not conceptual. People have some conceptual program for achieving their goal. It is about not the concepts, it's about operations. When they have some practical and operational program for achieving their goals, they will be so happy after that time. Why? Because when you know that where do you want to go, and you know how can you relatively achieve those, it is not about the absolute facts, it's about the relativity. Yes, you should be a dancer in your life. you should dance your songs with the changeable songs of your life. For example, if you are in a bad situation in life, accommodation means that you will be depressed. You will experience some depression. It is accommodation. You are dancing with the song of the life as life wants you. You are in a bad situation, you should experience depression. But it is about accommodation. When you are at the position of compromise, when you are at the position of competition, it is not about the losing the game. It is about the winning the game. In a bad situation, you ask yourself, what are the potentials in this bad situation for me? What is the message of this bad situation for me? Is it really bad or undesired? Is it really bad situation or a hard situation? A lot of things that you call them bad situations, honestly, they are not bad situations. They are hard situations. Because the human nature wants everything in an easy manner, many hard situations are considered as bad situations. They are not bad situations. They are hard situations. And whenever in your life, now or maybe other years of your life, whenever you accept by your mind, by your soul, by your emotion, that life is always difficult. When in the time of your life that it is at the front of your mind, that yes, life is difficult. You accept it, you embrace it, you surrender it, it is okay. After that, you think nothing is bad or good. Sometimes it is easy, sometimes it is hard, sometimes it is clear, sometimes it is not clear. But in everything, always in everything, there is at least at the minimum rate, there is at least 1 point to achieve, at least. Is it positive thinking? Is this strength finding the strength in each position? Okay, go to the break for 10 minutes and 11:25 be here, please. Start your midterm quiz for 1 hour, and that's it. See you after 10 minutes. Is everybody ready? Welcome, Robert. Erica and Joy, are you ready for quiz? Okay. Open the quiz, enter the midterm quiz at week 4. And this is the passcode for the midterm quiz, spring 2021. Please let me know when you enter the quiz. 5 essay questions for 1 hour. Erica, have you entered? Robert, are you entered?
I just entered right now.
Okay. Have a good quiz. Joey, have you entered?
I'm about to.
Okay. What about you, Erica?
Yeah, I entered.
Okay. Have a good time. It's only 1 hour. Please don't miss it anything.